The Consumer Law Hour is brought to you by Farah and Farah.
Comments and opinions expressed on this radio program do not constitute legal advice and do not create an attorney-client relationship with you. If you have a legal problem, a formal consultation will be required outside of this radio program.
This is the WOKV Ask the Experts Weekend, discussing things that matter most to you. Local experts answering your questions. Call 855-765-1045. That's 855-765-1045. Now, the Consumer Law Hour with Eddie and Chuck Farah.
Good afternoon, Jacksonville. My name is Scott Young, sitting in once again on the Consumer Law Hour with your host, Eddie Farah, Chuck Farah, waiting for your calls at 855-765-1045. If you've got legal questions, our experts are here to help. Again, 855-765-1045, the number to call. Get us a call, get in touch with our friends, and they can give you some guidance. Fellas, what's going on?
There's a lot going on, Scott. Good hearing from you, and it's we're good to be here. We're happy to be here today.
Hey, Scott.
Quite a lot of wacky events happening in the world lately. What you got for us?
Well, we got some wacky stuff to talk about, too, but a little more mundane than what's going on, but, that's all relative. But, we've talked about, I want to get into, our specialty is, personal injury and automobile accident. So, and we've talked about, of course, we'll talk about anything, and I want to talk about some other stuff, even some interesting criminal decisions that really affect everybody, and that you may be interested in. But getting back to the personal injury stuff, we've talked about before the vicarious liability, that when you own a vehicle and you loan that vehicle to someone, then you're responsible for that accident when something happens. If the car you loaned the person to is responsible for the accident. So that's called vicarious liability, or you're liable for someone else's negligence. And there was a case here in Jacksonville a few years ago. It happened here in Jacksonville, and the case was decided here, where a husband gives his wife a vehicle, gives it to her. It's in his name, but he gives it to his wife. They get a divorce. So he, in effect, gave it to his ex-wife, and his ex-wife was driving the vehicle and killed somebody in a car accident. And a lawsuit was filed, and the lawsuit was filed against, of course, the husband, because the car was in his name, and it was filed against his ex-wife. The husband at the time, his argument was that, look, yes, I gave the car to my wife. I haven't driven it in 2-3 years because we've been divorced. I didn't maintain insurance on the vehicle. She did. Yes, I never changed the registration over, but I don't have the keys. I don't have use of the vehicle. I don't have possession of the vehicle. I don't have control over the vehicle. And the court ruled in that situation that the husband, even though he was the owner of the vehicle, would not be responsible for the accident. And that's very important. And what the court talked about was beneficial ownership. Even though the title may be in your name, if you can show that you had no control over the car, that you did not really possess it, you didn't use it, you didn't insure it, that you had no beneficial use of the vehicle, you can escape liability, as this person did in this case. You don't want to get in that situation because it ended up being a big lawsuit, and it had to be tried, it had to be appealed, it was a long, drawn-out process. But in the end, the court ruled that it's all about beneficial ownership. So in order for you to be responsible, you have to show that you had no beneficial ownership. Now, if the ex-husband was using the car, and if the other side could show he was using it, and had maybe on the weekends she would let him use it, or he had possession of it, or he maybe had a set of keys to the car, or he controlled it in some way.
Some control.
Hey, let my cousin come use the vehicle. Then the result would have been different. But in this place, he had no use of the vehicle. He had nothing to do with the car.
All right.
So the court ruled properly in that case because he did not have beneficial ownership. He could not be held responsible even though the car was in his name. Now, you always want to keep, we've said this before, the way to protect yourself and the way the cars are in my household. I mean, my car is in my name. My wife's car is in her name alone. My children
your kids.
And my kids have their car in their own names. Because if your name is on the title with your child, you're going to get sued too. Now,
insurance coverage
will cover it.
Will cover it,
but if your policy is not enough, and the lawyer wants more money than what your policy has to offer, and you got to come out of pocket, that's a whole different situation.
Some people will say, well, he's not on my policy, so I'm not responsible. But you are. I mean, if he's on the title.
It's all about the title, yeah. You can have the whole family under the same insurance policy. That's not going to affect anything. It's all about title ownership. So really you want, if you're a husband and wife, you want the husband's car in his name alone, the wife's car in her name alone, and you want your assets to be owned jointly. Because if they sue the wife because she's driving her car and causes an accident, they cannot come after any of the joint assets that you and your wife have together. So if you got $1 million in the bank together that you own, nobody can come after that money if the car is in your name alone and you cause the accident. So that's just something you want to remember. But this is something different. This is beneficial ownership. This is when your car is your name is on the title, and you want to find a way that you won't be held responsible for the accident.
Yeah.
But
it's easy to go, change the names on the titles. You can do it online. Yeah. I did it recently with my kids. So it's probably a smart move if you've got joint title owners, it's best to separate it out.
Each person owns his own car. But see, the problem is if your wife owns her car on her own and you're driving her car,
it's different.
That's not going to work, because then you're involved in it. If you're driving your wife's car and you cause an accident, they can go after you and her, and they can go after any joint assets also that are not exempt from a lawsuit. But so generally, you want everyone to be driving their own vehicle as much as you can. Okay, and we've talked about that numerous times, but we still get questions at the office, Chuck. People call us all the time asking, how should my car be titled?
It's confusing because, you have, what about insurance? How does insurance, they're separate. It's all about, like you said, title ownership.
Yeah. You can have the entire family under one policy. That's not the determining factor. Okay.
Well, in many cases, an insurance policy covers household residents or family members anyway for limited usage.
They do. So they can. So if you have separate cars, let's say, you got a kid and he's got his own car in his name and your car is in your name, and you loan him the car, you loan the kid the car to drive, well, you've given approval for him to drive the car. So the coverage that you have on that car will cover the kid if he causes an accident. It'll protect you. So, because there's, you've given him, the consent, you've consented to him driving the vehicle. And that would be covered. So it gets confusing.
What the problem is where you've got a claim worth $300,000 and you have $100,000 worth of coverage. You got a family that needs $300,000. I mean, they've got injuries. The husband can't work, and they look at your policy. They only see 100. And the lawyers what happens then? The lawyers start poking around at your personal assets. They can't look at what kind of bank accounts you have until they get a judgment. But they can do asset searches. There are companies out there that can investigate your net worth and try to give that lawyer information that tells them, hey, these people have money to go after. And a lot of times these lawyers, before they'll settle the case with the insurance company, they'll make you give them your financial affidavit. They want to know what you have before they'll settle the case. They'll say, give me a financial statement of everything that you own. And so that way they can see if you've got anything, and they may try to go, they could say, no, we're not going to settle it for the insurance money. We want money out of your pocket. If you don't have to give them that. You can say, no, I'm not going to disclose my information to you about what I've got, but they could sue you. And if they get a judgment, then they can now bring you in for a deposition and subpoena all your financial information. So you don't want to, you want to avoid all that. That's not a road you want to go down. So the way to do it is to protect take an active, be proactive and separate the ownership of the vehicles. If you want to, if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, call me at the office and I'll walk you through it.
Yeah.
So give you some, and I'm happy to tell you. Anyway, let's move on to something else. There's the criminal side is always interesting to me. Search and seizure, the constitutional rights, and the Constitution, the stuff that goes behind it. Everybody talks about it every day. It's all over the news, all kind of ways. But getting to something more mundane is, here's a case that was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court. Here's a guy that's been speeding through the neighborhood on a motorcycle, and the police could never catch him. He eludes the police. They try to give him a ticket. So, so what he ends up doing, they can't find him, but he's got his motorcycle in his driveway, and it's come to find out it's a stolen motorcycle. But they didn't know that. They were trying to find him because he was eluding the police on the speeding tickets. So anyway, he parks his motorcycle in the driveway. He's got a cover like a tarp or something, but he posts on Facebook about his new motorcycle. The police see it, go, "Oh, that's the motorcycle that we've been trying to catch for the speeding tickets." So they go to his driveway. The motorcycle's parked in the driveway. And so they go to it's covered with like a little tarp or something. They walk into the driveway, peek under the tarp and see the title number, and they find out it's stolen. So they arrest him for driving a stolen motorcycle, purchasing stolen merchandise, whatever it is. Well, let me tell you, he beat it because it's an illegal search and seizure, and they threw the case out. It goes all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. They said it was a warrantless search. They could have gotten a warrant. They had time. The motorcycle was sitting there in the driveway. All they had to do was go in front of a judge and say, "Here's the motorcycle that's been speeding through the neighborhood. We can't catch him. We want to give him a ticket." And they could have gotten a warrant, but they did not get a warrant. They arrested the guy for, because they found out the motorcycle was stolen, for dealing in stolen property. And the case was dismissed because they violated the law. So that's a U.S. Supreme Court decision that stands right now on illegal search and seizure.
So they came onto the property without a warrant. Without a warrant, they trespassed onto the property. It's not like it was. Let me ask you this: if it was parked on the side of the road, would that make a difference?
Yeah, they came on his land. Yeah, good. It was on his. It's like these genetic tests they get when people throw their trash out. This recent detective that was arrested was involved in that murder in Deerwood. They went through his trash can.
Yeah,
he abandoned the property on the side of the road, so they picked it up.
Yeah, I mean the fact that it was on private property covered, those facts, it favored him. Yeah. And he beat it. Yeah. So that's funny.
Constitution action. Okay,
that is. That's it.
Okay, so that's our little criminal thing for today. But we'll talk about something.
But it's interesting how a change in the facts could change the whole thing. It's just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, well, let's take a quick break. We've got lines open for your calls at 855-765-1045. If you want to speak to our legal experts, now's the time. Lines are open. Again, 855-765-1045 as the Consumer Law Hour continues on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Technology is a beautiful thing. Take WOKV with you wherever you go. You'll get the latest breaking news, weather, and traffic, or your favorite talk shows everywhere. Download the WOKV app now. 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
If your pain had a voice, it would have a lot to say. In fact, if you've recently been in a serious car accident, your pain is talking to you right now. It might even be screaming in your ear. And after 30 years as a personal injury attorney, I can tell you that pain doesn't lie, and it will absolutely ruin your life. You better get used to me, pain would say, because I'm going to be around for a while, maybe for the rest of your life. Doctors and x-rays may not be able to see your pain, and for some reason, insurance companies never believe in your pain. But we hear it. We know that the pain resulting from a soft tissue injury is real. So if you're hurt, call us. We'll make sure those responsible for your pain are listening. Farah Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979.
Call us at 396-5555.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local...
All right, when we come back, I got a couple of callers on the line.
Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
I
I can give you a brand new kitchen in days, not weeks, not months. Hi, I'm Jeff Martin from Martin Appliance and Greystone Kitchens with my secret formula for your new kitchen.
Yes, sir.
Easy and economical. 90% of new cabinets today are painted, modern colors, crisp and clean. 90% of new countertops are granite or quartz, impeccably stylish, incredibly functional. Our secret? We swap your counters and refinish your cabinets to the color of your choice at a fraction of the cost, none of the hassle, and done in days. Call Greystone Kitchens at 213-9100 for your secret solution. Come see us on Phillips Highway across from Regal Cinema. That's Greystone Kitchens and Martin Appliance. New kitchen, new appliances. And if you want new cabinets, I can do that too. I'm a licensed contractor, for crying out loud. Florida State License CGC 1526479.
What you see is what you get. Martin Appliance Family.
WFOX Fox 30 has been removed from the service of Dish Network after the satellite provider refused to agree to a fair deal for a new retransmission consent agreement with Cox Media Group. If you're affected by this decision to deprive you of important local news and programming during these critical times, make your voice heard. Call Dish today at 1-800-333-3474. That's 1-800-333-3474 and demand that they put Fox 30 back on Dish.
As a woman, you've spent years taking care of everyone else. When you retire, it's finally your turn. And here's a little secret. Women and men have different needs and different emotions when it comes to retirement. What to do? Listen to Woman's Worth Radio each Sunday at 10 a.m. Woman's Worth founder Jeanette Bajalia believes your retirement isn't just about the money. It's about your total health. Woman's Worth Radio, Sundays at 10 a.m.
It's for us guys, too.
Listen to Woman's Worth Radio this Sunday at 10 a.m.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
Partly sunny on Saturday with a few showers and storms. Highs in the low 90s. That is an 8 on the WOKV weather meter. An isolated lingering shower tonight. Otherwise, mostly clear and warm. Low 74. Partly sunny on Sunday with scattered, mainly afternoon showers and storms. And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all partly sunny and hot with scattered afternoon storms. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima for 104.5 WOKV.
This will be accessible.
And we're back. Jacksonville, the Consumer Law Hour continues. 855-765-1045, the number to call. If you want to get in touch with our legal experts, Eddie Farah and Chuck Farah from the law firm of Farah and Farah, waiting for your calls. We've got our first caller of the day. Let's jump over to Kevin. He's got a question about evictions.
They're few and far
between.
between.
You're on the Consumer Law Hour.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Thanks for calling in. Yeah.
In the first place, I wasn't aware that evictions has began yet, but I've been having a very bad issue with the property rental or the property management company that I'm renting from. I've been here since March 31st, 2017. And my rent is the lowest of all 6 of the apartments in this building. Everybody else is paying like $650, $700 a month, and mine's $400 a month. Well, my lease expired on March 31st, and I went down to renew it, I don't know, the 28th, 29th, or 30th, and they were closed and working from home. And I had absolutely no idea about that, but it took me almost a month and a half to finally get somebody from their office to call me back. They were greatly upset because in March and April, I had to get assistance to pay my rent. And they didn't like that. They said, well, then you obviously can't afford the place, which, I mean, $400 a month, I can almost panhandle that kind of money, you know? But anyway, a couple of days ago, it's dated the 10th, August the 10th, I got an eviction notice on my door and one in the mail. And I finally got to someone downtown, and they said, yes, this is real. It's active. It's going through. And they said this is all very confusing to me because apparently in the eviction notice, it says I owe $400 for the month of August. But according to the emails I've been getting from the property management company, they've jacked my rent to almost $1,000 a month with the late fees charged by the day, by the week, I believe, and by the month. And they're threatening to sue me for 3 times the amount of the rent. which if they come with that, it's going to be over $10,000. And I don't know what to do. They said, the lady I talked to downtown said, I've got 5 days from the date on the notice to contact the judge, which I can't really tell her anymore, that or him, whoever. I won't mention the judge's name on the air, but I really can't tell them any more than I could tell you.
Right.
I mean, I've got my notices, I've got my leases, I've got all my information, including the times they've had to come out and do repairs to the place. That was not my fault. And they tried to back charge me on it, like for one, snaking out the bathtub, because the plumbing in this place is horrendous. And they tried to charge me like $200 for that. And when I walked in the office and threatened to get an attorney, they said, oh, we were just kidding. We're not going to charge you, really. But I feel like they've used this pandemic to price gouge me and force me out so they can get basically $300 a month more out of this unit than I'm paying. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not.
Well, they're probably looking at the money. I mean, that if you're paying $400 and everybody else is paying $1,000, that's $600 a month they're losing times 12. That's real money. I mean, that's 70.
Well, everybody else is paying between $650 and I think $750.
Okay, so they're losing. But you're not paying what everybody else is paying. So they're looking at it from a business decision. Okay, and your lease was up in March of this year, right? In March.
Right,
so,
March 31st.
So why didn't you just go to them and say, hey, I'm willing to pay the $600, what everybody else is paying?
Number one, I couldn't afford it. I lost my one good paying job that I had for 17 years back in 2017. And basically it's been, something part-time or little cash jobs or whatever, side work, painting the house or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I'm 60 years old. I've got some health issues.
Well,
and my girlfriend and I originally rented this place. We lived together 10 years, and she moved out back in the end of January. And they said, this place is run by women, by the way. And they said, well, if she comes in and signs the lease, fine, you can stay. I mean, I feel like I'm being forced out, price gouged and forced out. They told me I could go online. I think it was in May or early June. They told me I could go online and sign it. I tried to explain to the lady, I don't have any internet access except the library, and that's closed. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of options I have. I know I'm going to get evicted, but I feel like this is not a legal eviction.
Yeah, I think. Well, the evictions, have they been? Are they now back? Are they going on now? Or I thought they extended the moratorium.
Well, I did too until the first of the month. And the woman I spoke to Friday at the courthouse downtown said that yes, they're back on. Yeah. Because the eviction notice I got, both of them, the one in the mail and the one they put on the door, do not have a case number. I finally got the case number Friday afternoon, and the judge's name is going to go before.
Mm-hmm.
She told me to write a letter to the judge and explain the thing. And I mean, I don't know what good that's going to do because I still can't pay what they want. Right. And the discrepancy is I called the property management company last month, I believe it was, and was talking to them and trying to figure out, how much do I actually owe? Maybe I can try to get some kind of payment thing going.
Yeah.
And she said, well, bring all your pay stubs in. And I tried to explain to her, most of the work I do is cash money jobs, like painting a house or whatever.
Right.
And she said, nope. Unless your girlfriend comes and signs the paperwork, you can stay. If not, you got to go.
Why do they want her to sign the paperwork?
I'm sorry?
Why do they want her to sign the paperwork? Your girlfriend?
To be honest with you, I think it's for two reasons. Number one, the company is run by women, and it's pretty sexist, and they don't want to talk to a man unless he comes in there pissed off about what they're trying to charge.
Yeah.
And then they say, oh, no, we were just kidding. We're really not going to do that.
Well,
and my girlfriend is on disability, so it's guaranteed money every month.
And you're not getting any kind of you're not getting Social Security or anything like that at this point?
No, sir. When I went to try to apply for it, because I had like 3 mini strokes or small strokes or whatever they call them, and I had shingles before that about 2 years back. It left me with a lot of nerve damage on the left side of my chest and my back. So I'm very limited on some of the kind of work I can do. When I went to apply for disability, the whole world closed down.
Have you applied for SSI? Not SSD.
Well, that's what I tried to do. Social Security Disability.
No, I'm talking about SSI.
I tried to go see a doctor at UF Health or whatever, and all they wanted to do was ask me about how long I'd had coronavirus, and I haven't had that.
Yeah. Here's what you do. Leave your phone number with Scott. I may have, the Jacksonville Area Legal Aid has a division that helps people in your situation. And I want to talk to one of my disability lawyers in my office and see what he can do to help you.
That would be great, because I definitely need the help. I've been trying everything I can think of, and I called legal aid as well, too, twice.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always closed to walk-ins.
Yeah, I know that.
To get an appointment, you got to wait 2 or 3 hours on the phone. And I'll be honest with you, I have a food stamp phone because I'm on food stamps now.
Yeah.
And I have very, very limited data. I don't even know I can stay on hold for 2 hours without losing all the data.
Right, I understand, but I'll find out something, then I'll call you, so you won't have to use up all your time. I'll try to get an answer for you on Monday.
Okay, thanks.
Leave your number with Scott, and I'll be in phone contact. Thank you.
Okay, will do. Thank you, sir.
All right, Kevin, stay on the line for me, and I'll come back to you in just a second. We'll get you updated. We got to take another quick break, get an update on local news, weather, and traffic, and we'll be back with more of the Consumer Law Hour after this quick stop on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Now, local news from CBS 47, Fox 30 Action News Jax.
I'm Action News Jax anchor Courtney Cole for 104.5 WOKV. Here are some of your top stories on this Saturday. In less than a week now, students in Duval County will head back to class in person and virtually. And according to the latest numbers from the school district, 35,000 students have registered for distance learning. Parents, you know that as Duval Homeroom. As of Friday, there were 1,356 teachers that applied for Duval Homeroom. That's an increase of 187 teachers since August 3rd. DCPS spokesperson Tracy Pierce told Action News Jax via email that staffing is always adjusted to meet the demands of parent choice and class regulations as we approach the first day of school in any year. Now, in terms of if there will be enough teachers to handle the 35,000 students who are registered for Dual Homeroom, the district couldn't give us an exact number, but they told us they can address final staffing numbers sometime after the first day of school. For the latest in news, weather, and traffic, make sure you tune in to CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax tonight, and be sure to download our Action News Jax apps.
This program is brought to you by Veterans Elite Services.
I'm Joe Padlow, and when I retired from the Marines in 2014, I started Veterans Elite Services, a cleaning company to employ military veterans. Our deep clean process includes an EPA-certified virus-side fogging system to disinfect at a deeper level. This year alone, we've protected over 750,000 square feet of commercial and residential buildings and medical and dental offices from COVID-19, SARS, and other viruses. Call me, and I'll be pleased to tell you how we can do that for you. 904-468-3874, veteranseliteservices.com.
As you get back to business, small things can make a big difference, like marking safe distances with floor tape and posting reminders to wash hands. As always, Grainger is here to help, offering supplies and solutions for every industry. Free access to product specialists, 24/7 support, safety recovery guides, and more. It's part of our commitment to help you adapt and recover in these challenging times. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brian Kilmeade here for Phil Aiken with Aiken Home Team Keller Williams Realty. You've read the headlines. A lot of big cash offer companies have stopped providing cash offers for homes. But if you need to sell right now, here's what I recommend. Get a 24-hour cash offer from Phil Aiken. Hey, friends, Phil Aiken has always helped you sell faster and for top dollar. And now Phil will give you a competitive cash offer for your home in 24 hours. No showings, no repairs necessary. Phil's cash offer will give you the power to sell now or on your schedule with his seller protection program that markets your home online to thousands of ready buyers, featuring virtual tours, offers, and closings. And if your home does not sell, Phil Aiken will buy it, guaranteed in writing. The seller protection program gives you peace of mind, while Phil Aiken 24-hour cash offers get your home sold immediately. So call the only agent I endorse in Jacksonville, Phil Aiken, at 904-500-PHIL. That's 904-500-7445. Or visit philhasthecashoffers.com. philhasthecashoffers.com.
Celebrate your love with end of summer savings now at Beard's Diamonds.
Right now at Beard, take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing.
Yes, 5 years, zero-interest financing with zero down. Take advantage of Beard's already lowest prices in town. But now, spread your payments out over 60 months.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month.
Or a pair of diamond studs for $1,500, you pay just $25 a month. It's the best deal of the summer. Get her that piece of jewelry she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out over 60 months.
But it's only for a limited time and only at Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's Diamonds, located at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Come into Beard's Diamonds. See the difference. Save thousands.
Businesses are starting to bounce back. But what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt, deliver, and succeed in new ways with new customers? At Comcast Business, we're committed to helping you not just bounce back, but bounce forward. That's why we're offering powerful and reliable internet and voice, now for only $35 each a month when you buy both and sign up for EcoBill and AutoPay with a 2-year agreement. It'll help you stay ahead with a network you can count on, stay connected with 24/7 support, and thrive with flexible solutions that work wherever you are. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online today to find out more. Comcast Business. Offer ends 8/21/2020. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 35 megabits internet and 1 voice mobility line. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay required. Equipment, installation, taxes, and fees extra. Subject to change.
The WOKV First Alert Forecast.
An 8 on the WOKV weather meter for Saturday. A partly sunny day with afternoon showers and storms, high 93. Mostly clear and warm tonight, low 74. And then partly sunny on Sunday. Still hot with scattered mainly afternoon showers and storms. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will be partly sunny and hot days with temperatures in the mid-90s with scattered afternoon storms each day. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Corey Sima for 104.5 WOKV.
Now, Safe Touch Security First Alert Traffic.
I'm seeing reports of some traffic backups beginning on 95 as you're south of the 95-295 exchange, going in and out of St. Johns County. It looks like this is just north of the 95 and 9B exchange. So traffic starting to slow out in that area. If you're in the area, use caution. Also seeing a pickup in traffic over on Blanding Boulevard just south of 295. No tremendous surprise there as Saturday afternoon traffic starts to pick up. With Jacksonville's most frequent traffic, I'm Scott Young for 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of 104.5 WOKV or Cox Media Group.
And we're back on the Consumer Law Hour, 855-765-1045. The number to call, 855-765-1045. Gets you in touch with our legal experts, Eddie Farah, Chuck Farah, from the law firm of Farah Farah. Waiting on your calls. Aubrey has got a question for us. Aubrey, you're on the Consumer Law Hour.
Yes, hello. How are you doing today?
Fine. How are you doing, Aubrey?
I'm doing well, sir. I have a problem with getting paid. I work for a company that I won't say their name on the air, but they move appliances, and I was told that I was going to make $120 a day, but then afterwards he said that I'm only going to make $50 a day, and he's going to take out for drug tests and background checks and all these kinds of things, and I was wanting to know if that was legal.
Okay, are you still working for him?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, did you have a written contract?
No, sir, I don't.
Or are you part of a payroll system? Do they pay you and take taxes out?
They hadn't paid me yet. This is my first check.
Okay.
I've worked for them a total of 5 days, and all I was wanting was what they had told me was the $600, and now they're trying to say that I owe for the drug test and I owe for this and that, and only making $50 a day, I would owe them money rather than them owing me money.
I don't see. I mean, how could you owe them money?
That you can't. And I don't know. My question is, did they hire you as an employee? Or is it kind of like an independent contractor? Because you've got to be able to, you got to differentiate between the two. I mean, did you sign any paperwork or anything like that, like a W-2 form or anything? Anything to get a W-2 form at the end of the year?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, so you're probably an employee.
Form.
You're probably an employee, and you just gotta wait till you get paid.
So
you just gotta wait till you get paid to figure out what's happening.
Is this a big company, or is it just like a flyby, like a mom and pop operation?
No, it's a company that's been in several states. I looked them up, and they're from Texas. My trainer was from Corpus Christi, Texas, and he's gone to California, and he's gone to these different companies.
Yeah, so this is a legitimate company. It's been around.
Oh.
Okay. So
I think it goes back to what Eddie said at the beginning. If you don't have, if there's a contract, some sort of agreement as to what you're going to get paid.
Is there an email or anything?
Yeah, then you can maybe hold them to it. But if it was orally, it may be. Was there an email?
There was no emails, but I have text saying that I have a receipt for fuel that I used when I filled up the vehicle, and I installed appliances in people's homes for a big box store through this company. I would go to the big box store, pick up the appliances. They would check their merchandise out, put it on the truck with their name on the side of it, and then I would transport it to the people's homes, hook up the stoves and the refrigerators and all that kind of thing. And then
do you have experience
at the end of the day,
in that?
I would come.
How do you know how to do that? Is that a skill that you have?
Yes, sir. Okay. It is.
Yeah, that's something. Even though Florida's an at-will state, which means they can kind of basically fire you for anything unless it's based on some sort of discrimination like age, sex, religious affiliation. Even though they could fire you, they still owe you the money.
If you calculate the hours, it's probably below minimum wage.
Yeah. Yeah,
yes, sir, it would be.
Yeah. There's probably something we can do to help you with that. Our firm doesn't handle it, but I know somebody who does. And so if you want to leave your number with Scott, I'll be in phone contact with you on Monday, and I can find
that would be wonderful.
Yeah. So you haven't been paid for that first week, correct?
No, sir, I haven't been paid at all.
Are they not going to pay you for it?
That's what he was saying. He was going to cut my fee that he owed me from $120 a day. Most of the other people everybody else, in fact, got paid by the stop, but I got paid $120 a day for training, which I was like, okay, I understand that. I don't know how to do it as well as these people that have been doing it for a while, for years, for different companies. But now he's saying that I owe for a background check of $200. I owe for the motor vehicle report because it was a CDL driving job, and so forth. And so between the expenses and for the $50 a day, I would be owing him. I would have more money going.
I'm not trying to take up for the guy, but that's probably the first week. That was just your training part. The background check is a one-time check. The drug test is a one-time check.
Yeah, it's not going to be a recurring.
This is not a recurring thing every week. Maybe because you were in training, they only paid you so much. But once you were up and running, you were going to get paid whatever they promised you to get paid. Is that not what the situation is?
No, sir, because they told me during training, he said this specifically, during training I would only make $120 a day. And the other people who weren't in training were making money per stop. Like we'd go to 15 people's different houses. They would get paid, but according to how many stops they made, so that it would encourage people to do more stops.
Mm-hmm. And they would end up making more than 120 a day.
I would assume so. I didn't ask them a bunch of questions about how much they made per stop. It was not my business.
Right. So you don't even know what they could have been making $10 a stop for all you know, or $5.
Correct.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Okay. Sir. Okay. Leave your phone number with Scott. There's a labor firm that I can reach out to and see if they can help you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Farah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Okay, Aubrey, if you'll stay on the line for me, I'll get you taken care of in just a second.
Yes, sir.
We've got Chuck in St. Augustine who's got a question also. Chuck in St. Augustine, let's see, caller line 3, with regarding some billing after a settlement in a car collision. Chuck, you're on the Consumer Law Hour.
Hey, Chuck.
Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Hey, I got 2 questions for you. One is, I've heard about balance billing. I'm not really sure exactly what it is or how it, it's covered. And also a real life situation is about a year and a half ago, I had an accident, And it got settled and everything, insurance paid and all that. And now about a year later, I get a bill from the physical therapy saying, "Oh, they didn't pay everything, or we didn't have everything in there. You need to pay us now." Or really, they sent me a letter saying you owe us, but they didn't have the dollar amount in the letter they sent me saying how much I owe them. So anyway, I was just curious about that.
Okay, they did not have the amount that they're claiming you owe them?
No, they sent me 2 letters saying, we spoke to you 6-7 months ago about this. We offered to cut it in half, and we haven't heard back. Well, when I spoke to them a while back on this, I said, well, I think my insurance company, I actually called the insurance company from their office, and then said, all right, well, we'll settle it out. We'll get it figured out here. And I hadn't heard from them, and now I get a letter saying, oh, you owe us money. Didn't say how much. Said we offered to cut it in half for you, but you didn't take advantage of it. So now, get in touch with her. We're going to turn it over to collection.
Yeah.
But no, there was no dollar amount listed in their letter.
Well, so these were this was treatment related to the car accident, correct?
Correct. And they they got paid partial or whatever we had for the amount when everything was settled out.
Well,
but then after that,
but
they came up with more.
Typically, okay, here's what you may not owe it, because typically when your lawyer settles the case, they contact the PT and say, send us a bill. And if they send a bill and the lawyer sends them money, that bill is considered paid in full. So I don't know. That's what typically most attorneys do.
Plus, if they use your PIP to pay, then, sometimes what happens is they'll submit a bill to PIP, which is the bill may be larger than what the reasonable rate is under PIP. So they get paid what they're due under PIP, but because the bill's larger, there's still a balance. It's larger than what it should be. So it has to be adjusted. And they may not be allowed to collect that.
Have they sent you a printout? Yeah, you got to look at it. Ask them to send you a printout of all the physical therapy sessions, because you want to make sure that you've got, that you were there on those days. They're not just, we've seen some of that where people will make up situations where, you're there and you're not.
There's two. You want to do that and also get your request from your insurance company, your PIP log.
Yeah.
If you get the PIP log and the bill from the physical therapist, you can contact us and we'll look at it to see if, if they're billing something that they shouldn't be billing.
Okay.
Or trying to collect an amount that's over and above what's reasonable.
Billing?
What's that?
Does that have anything to do with what people call balance billing?
I don't know what balance billing is.
It's
okay.
Billing them on the balance of the bill.
Yeah, they owe you the balance. But, the balance would not cover.
And what I'm talking about, the balance may not be accurate because they have to reduce their bill. If they use PIP to get paid, they may have to reduce their bill to the reasonable amount provided by the PIP statute. So, Yeah, is the balance they're charging you, is that the retail amount, or is that the amount that they're getting paid under PIP? I mean,
I have no idea.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to look at. Are they now charging you the retail rate per physical therapy session, what they would charge somebody coming off the street paying cash, or are they getting paid? Are they charging you the insurance rate, which is a lower negotiated rate?
Mm-hmm.
You see,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what you got to find out. You got to look at it. We can look at it and tell you. If you get, like Chuck said, if you contact your insurance company and get what they call a PIP log, PIP log, that's what they paid, and give us a printout and call them and say, listen, hey, I just want to see what I owe you. Can you send me a printout of all my bill?
And how it was paid.
And how it was paid. And then we can look at it and tell you.
And we'll tell you if it's right.
Okay, so basically I'll get both the PIP and the printout from the physical therapy, and we'll compare them.
And then you call me at 396-5555. I'll have somebody look at it.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, Chuck, we appreciate that call. We'll be back for our final segment of the Consumer Law Hour after a quick break here on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Hello, I'm Eddie Farah. After more than 35 years of practice, there are some things I've learned about our profession that are absolutely crucial to personal injury law. We deal with serious, often permanent, life-changing injuries. And of course, we deal with real tragedy and families that have just lost a family member through the carelessness of another party. Over the years, this is what has really shaped our culture of empathy, compassion, and respect for every person who comes in for a consultation. They come in feeling like they have no power. They feel alone. We start out by explaining what the law provides, like lost wages and future medical payments. You can see the change in a client when they start to realize that they're not alone. They have power. Their story will be heard. Their quality of life and their dignity can be restored. Our philosophy of compassion and respect is something you'll feel because it's not just a philosophy. It's who we are. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555, Jacksonville.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-217-5646. 904-217-5646. 904-217-5646.
Jacksonville, we're back on our final segment of the Consumer Law Hour. 855-765-1045, the number to call to speak with our legal experts, Eddie Farah and Chuck Farah from the law firm of Farah and Farah, waiting on your calls. We've got Errol over on the north side who's got some concerns about, what were the words you used for it again, Errol?
Vicarious liability.
Vicarious liability. You're on the Consumer Law Hour, Errol.
Okay, so if I've got a C Corp and I have a driver driving for me one of my vehicles, and the person claimed that the gas cap flew off and it hit him in the face and knocked him over. They sued my insurance company and didn't get anywhere with them. About maybe a year ago, they did that. I got a letter stating that they're now suing my company directly. Is that something that I could be liable for?
Yeah. Who owns the truck? What's the title of the truck?
It's titled in my personal name.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you could be responsible for that.
And then the company, because he was during the course and scope of his, I'm assuming he was during, conducting business at the time, then they're trying to drag the company.
Is your insurance company claiming they don't have any responsibility to insure you?
Right.
What? Was there a premium not paid or something like that? Or
no, everything's fine. They contacted the insurance company and tried to sue them, but it just didn't lead anywhere. They weren't. They just weren't paying it.
So now they're going to say, okay, have you been served with papers yet? Have you been?
Yes.
You have been served with papers.
Yes.
Okay, then you need to turn that over to your insurance company. You'll provide coverage.
This is the second time.
Yeah, you see,
I turned over the first ones to them.
Yeah. So now they're coming after the company, and your insurance, your car insurance, is saying we're not going to cover the company.
Well, I haven't talked to them about this one. I only just got it yesterday.
Okay. Well.
Okay. Are they saying that the truck's in your name? They didn't know it was being used for business purposes, and that's why we're not covering it?
He doesn't know that yet.
You don't know? Okay.
He doesn't know if the insurance company is going to deny it. What you should do is turn it over. I mean, there's a chance they could deny it if
It depends what you told them when you took out the policy. But if you want to take the lawsuit, now that the company has been sued, you have personal protection, right? They're gonna defend you personally, right?
Whatever happened?
I don't know yet.
Whatever happened to the first lawsuit? Did it get settled?
Nothing. They just didn't move forward. They said that they weren't paying it. That they weren't responsible.
Is it still pending?
It's been a year and I hadn't heard anything.
Well, it's probably still pending.
I just let it go.
Yeah. I would still turn this new one over to the insurance company and see if they're going to defend you on it. If not, then you
have to contact us.
You have to get a lawyer.
You may have to get a lawyer to sue your insurance company because they did not provide you coverage. Okay?
Okay.
You have a contract with them. That contract says they're supposed to defend you if a lawsuit happens. If they don't do it, you can sue them for it. But right now, you need to turn over the new lawsuit to your insurance company and ask them what they're going to do about it.
Okay, will do.
If they decide not to defend you, then you can call my office and I can find somebody to help you.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Yeah, see, the insurance company will do that. They'll take your money, but when it comes time, they'll find a reason not to defend you. Yeah.
That's why when you fill out the application for your insurance, make sure it's all accurate and complete. Yeah.
Good luck on settling up with that. Again, if you need the help, reach out to the good people of Farah & Farah. They're here for you every week on the Consumer Law Hour. And as always, taking your calls at 855-765-1045. Fellas, appreciate it. Another great weekend. Looking forward to talking to you again next week, same time, same channel. Until then, Jacksonville, have a great weekend as the Consumer Law Hour comes back next week and the Weekend Experts continue.
WOKV-FM and HD1 Atlantic Beach. Listen everywhere in the WOKV app. 104.5 WOKV, a Cox Media Group station.